Marnell Sample bringing you another vocal tip. In today's vocal tip, we will be addressing some common questions that I've had regarding breathing for singing. Those questions are, number 1, how much air should I breathe when singing? Number 2, should I breathe through the nose or through the mouth? And number 3, when should I breathe? In addition to answering those questions, I will also provide you an exercise to tie in all 3 of those points. Lastly, I will show you how to apply that information to an actual song. So let's begin. Let me first start off by showing you what you do not want to do. If you see someone doing this when they're getting ready to sing for a phrase and prepare for a phrase, it's wrong. It just makes you want to go, it's too much air. That is way too much air. You do not need that much air for singing. Believe it or not, singing does not take much air at all. It doesn't take much greater volume of air than you'd actually use for speaking, or put more correctly, than what you would use for calling out to someone. So let's say you were moving something heavy and you needed some assistance from somebody else in your house and you said, "Hey, can you come here for a second? I need some help." The amount of air that you use to do that, that's all the air that you need for singing. It does not require much more air than that. If you start getting to the point where you're going and tanking up on air like this, what you end up doing is creating a lot of tension here in your chest and in your larynx and in your throat, and this whole area up here just gets constricted. And it just makes you feel like you just want to go at the end of your phrase and get rid of all of that excess air. The short answer, you want to breathe through the nose, if you can. Generally speaking, you can breathe through the nose, assuming that you don't have congestion issues. And it will actually work out better for you, not only because your nose filters the air, but also because it corrects the first point, which is overbreathing, breathing in too much air. If you try to breathe in through your nose, it becomes very hard to tank up on air, because since your nasal passages are much smaller than your mouth, it will not allow a lot of air to come in very quickly. Whereas if you breathe through your mouth, it makes it easy to overbreathe. It makes it easy to build up a lot of tension here in the chest. That's when you tend to gasp a lot more. So, and you're already tense and constricted here and this whole area, versus here. It's hard to breathe in too much air through the nose. Just to add one more point to this, there will be times when you will not be able to breathe through the nose, and that's generally if you have a phrase or a series of phrases where there's like basically no time to breathe, where you have to take very, very, very rapid breaths in succession, one after the other, and you might tend to breathe through the mouth a little bit, or maybe half through the mouth, half through the nose. But in general, we want to try to breathe through the nose whenever possible. Generally speaking, you want to breathe in such a way that does not disrupt the rhythm of the music. If you are breathing in such a way that you have to take so many seconds to fill up with air, and now you've just got off beat, you're breathing, number 1, too much air, and number 2, you probably need to break up your phrases. So if you're trying to sing one long phrase, and then at the end of it, suddenly you're gasping for air like, break up that phrase into 2 separate phrases, or sometimes maybe even more depending on what you're singing and how long it is. Also, if you have a lot of space in between your phrases, so if you have like more of a slow song and you just have your phrase and then there's a space of a few seconds where it's just the chords playing or whatever instrument's playing under you, and then your next phrase comes in, you can generally breathe more slowly for those types of phrases, and you will breathe right before the next phrase starts. So let's say I'm doing something like Let's take My Funny Valentine for example. That's a perfect one. I go, My Funny Valentine. Now I have a space. Sweet comic Valentine. Breathe. You make me smile with my heart. That's all you have to do. You should not be sitting with air tanked up in your system preparing for a phrase that's several seconds later. So if I went, My Funny Valentine, I wouldn't breathe here in the pauses that I have. Since I have a pause of several seconds, I wouldn't breathe here and then hold my breath until it's time to do the next phrase. You breathe in right before your phrase actually starts. So now, let's put all of that together in an exercise. First thing we will do is practice sniffing. Sniffing is what we will use to take in quick breaths through the nose and also to prevent you from overbreathing. It will also allow you to keep with the rhythm of the music much more efficiently. So basically it's just like you smell something and you're trying to figure out what it is, so you start sniffing like you're really trying to figure out, what is that scent? What is that odor? That's all you have to do. What I want you to also notice is that when you sniff like that, if you put your hands on your sides, right below where your lowest ribs are at, and you go, you sniff, you should feel this area here all the way around. It should pop out. It should expand a little bit. It should kick out. That's your inhalation happening. That's all it takes for your inhalation for the large majority of phrases, especially in the context of this exercise and in most songs that you will be singing. The next thing is, for this exercise we are going to do, we are going to work in cycles. One cycle will be comprised of 2 measures of 4 beats each. So it will sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is one cycle. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for the exercise. You're going to be exhaling through your mouth, like that, and to a beat, so to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to hold the air out of you for the next 1, 2, 3, and then for the very last beat, the 4, you're going to sniff in quickly through the nose, and then it starts over again. So it looks something like this. So hold, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the air out, sniff, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, sniff, hold, 2, 3. This will get you used to keeping a steady rhythm and taking in just the amount of air that you would need to keep moving on. So once again, I'll demonstrate. Exhale for 4 beats, hold the air out of you for 3 beats, and then you sniff on the 4th beat, the very last beat, to take in your air. So again. There is one little tip that I would like to offer for this exercise. When you are sniffing, make sure you don't lift your chin up in the air like this. Don't go. If you do that, you will end up straining and putting excess tension on all of your laryngeal muscles and the muscles under your jaw right here. We don't want that, nor is it necessary. Keep your chin down. So a little bit like you're nodding to agree with someone, like this. Keep your chin down like this, and then sniff. So that's it. You're done. Once you've gotten comfortable with the silent version of that exercise and you're keeping a constant steady rhythm and you are not destroying it in order to breathe too much air, then we can try it voiced with a vowel the exact same way. Try it on a 5-tone scale with ah. So like this. Ah, 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 you see, that's all it is. Never at any point in time did you see me suddenly bracing for the high notes to go. I still kept the exact same thing, just like when I did the silent exercise. Didn't take in that much air, just, you saw, a quick sniff. That's all it was. Now when you do this exercise, you don't have to go as high as I did. Go wherever it's comfortable for you. The important thing is you're not trying to stretch your range with this. You're just trying to get down the habit, the pattern correct. Okay, so now let's move on applying this to a song. I've chosen Keith Urban's Tonight I Wanna Cry because it has a little bit of everything in it. I'm just doing the first verse and the chorus, but in it you'll hear at the beginning of the verse there's extra space in between the phrases where you get more chance to breathe and actually relax in between phrases. And then there are also lots of quicker phrases that are back to back getting closer to the chorus. And there are high notes, there are low notes, and you get to see that no matter what's going on, the breathing doesn't change. It just still stays consistent like this the whole time. Never will you see me go. Never once. Just takes in a minimal amount of air. Like I said, nothing more than what you would use for calling out to someone, and I'm mostly breathing through my nose. Occasionally through the mouth, but mostly through the nose. Okay, so here goes. Alone in this house again tonight. Got the TV on, sound turned down, and a bottle of wine. There's pictures of you and I on the walls all around me. The way that it was and could have been surrounds me. I'll never get over you walking away. 'Cause I've never been the kind to ever let my feelings show. And I thought that being strong meant never losing my self-control. But I'm just drunk enough to let go of my pain. To hell with this pride, let it fall like rain from my eyes. Tonight I wanna cry. Something like that.